presentation at the Central Texas Dyslexia Conference, and I talked about Dyslexia Assessment and Considerations for English Learners. And like I start, so I start off my presentation saying we really want there to be cutoff scores, right? We really want to be able to say, if it's this, then yes, or if it's this, then it's no. But it's not like that. It's very gray. It's not black and white.
Is it patterns? Like your personal philosophy as a school psychologist, like how do you make that decision if it's not a cutoff? And
so I think I have to be honest, like I kind of fall back on what our state handbook says is there a preponderance of data, meaning is there a history of reading difficulty?
Like starting in kindergarten? Do you go back to did their kindergarten teacher write in their notes, we're working on letter sounds?
Right, but then even that's hard because what if it's a gifted child? Or maybe they're an English learner and we're not picking up on phonological processing deficits because Spanish is a transparent language and English is an opaque language, and it's just not.
Could you define those terms for me?
Yeah.
I know what that means when it comes to pictures.
So it basically means like it's the letter sound correspondence what you would expect it to be. So like in English,
so transparent is Spanish?
Is Spanish. So
okay, good.
the letters
and opaque.
Yeah, the letter and letter sound is what you would think, right?
It's shatila. What's Arabic? No, Lebanese.
Yeah.
Opaque.
I don't know. I don't know if that's an opaque or transparent language. I'm not sure. But English is really hard, right? Sometimes the letter sounds don't match up and the letter combinations don't make the sound you think it would make. And, there's just so many variables that are at play. But at the end of the day, what we're trying to figure out is there a deficit in reading, right? And in addition to that, are these deficits unexpected? But even that's gray, right?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it's great.
Yeah, so it's like we should call the handbook 50 Shades of Grey.
So you
we should call all our
people
special ed teachers.
Okay, but you're bilingual.
Yes.
So talk to us about.
I didn't know that either.
Yes, I know. I'm undercover. I'm an undercover Latina.
Awesome.
Yes,
So talk to us more about English learners and about the additional considerations.
Yeah, so one of the things I talk about is, there's different types of English learners and language acquisition theory and all that jazz. And, I think
there's different theories about language acquisition.
Right, so like there's second language acquisition theory, and then there's like these phenomenons like native language loss and all this kind of stuff, right?
I actually really want to learn that too. Can we bookmark that?
Absolutely.
I don't think we're taught.
Yeah, and to be honest, like I'm not a huge expert in that. Like, a lot of this,
But you've at least heard of this.
Yes. Well, when you're training like how to become a bilingual evaluator, these are things that you have to get trained up in the ways on, right? So I had to take a lot of professional development about that. When I was in grad school, I had to create my own bilingual program because at that time, Texas State didn't have what's it called now? The Project Superb. Yeah. So that happened after I left.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah. So, I had to seek out a bilingual practicum and internship and work with my supervisor on getting trained up in the ways of bilingual evaluation. But I think about, my mom is a sequential English learner and I'm a simultaneous English learner, meaning my mother didn't learn I know. She didn't learn English until after her L1, her first language. So her first language was Spanish.
And this is just is this because of her environment, or is this because you're kind of
so she was born to Spanish-speaking parents. And so, like, your L1 is English, your L1 is English, right? My mother's L1 was Spanish. So she didn't start learning English until age 5. So usually if you're,
get those kids
if you're learning
frequently,
if you're learning L2, your second language, after the age of I think 3 or 5, then you're a sequential.
So that's why she has
learner. Whereas me, I was born to a Spanish-speaking and English-speaking parents.
You were hearing both.
I was
from
hearing
day one.
both, right? So I grew up hearing both simultaneous. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And so that plays into things you have to take into consideration when you're evaluating a child for things like a learning disability.